13 from Anna University. She has about 15 years of experience in academic and 6 years in industry. Her research areas include geopolymer concrete and geopolymer mortar, its applications in structural engineering, high performance concrete, self-compacting concrete, combined bending and torsion. Dr. R. Anuradha is a life member in Indian Society for Technical Education, associate member in Institute of Engineers, life member in Indian Geotechnical Society, and fellow member in Institution of Valuers. She is a reviewer in many journals. She has guided more than 60 UG projects and more than 30 PG projects and guiding 10 PhD scholars. She has published more than 60 papers in national and international journals. She has received Institute for Exploring Advances in Engineering IEAE Award for Best Faculty. Ma'am has delivered many lectures and acted as jury in many colleges in and around Coimbatore. She has published 2 books, namely Prefabricated Structures and Construction Materials. Dr. R. Anuradha has filed a patent in the topic, a novel method to prepare self-compacting concrete using single alkali activated as-based concrete for impact strength enhancement of concrete. She has received a grant of more than rupees 2 lakhs from various funding agencies such as CSIR, Ministry of Earth Sciences, DRDO, NPCIL for conducting various seminars and workshops. She has received knowledge upgradation for skilled human action and learning under University Grant Commission Plumber in self-financing mode sponsored by UGC out of 1456 colleges. Ma'am, we are very happy to have you as in this FDP. Thank you for accepting our invitation and being a speaker on this day. Once again, I welcome you to this FDP, ma'am. Kindly take over the session.
Thank you, Shobana. Thank you very much. Thanks for your nice introduction. First and foremost, I thank NGP management and Dr. Muthupriya ma'am. She is my faculty actually when I was studying in VLB for inviting me in this FDP. And also I thank all the participants, those who have participated here. Good morning, one and all present here. Ma'am, can we start the session, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning, sir. May I know who is speaking?
Madam, I am Janardhan, madam, from PS University, madam.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Screen தெரியுதான்னு பாருங்க கொஞ்சம்.
No, ma'am.
என்ன பண்ணணும் ஸ்கிரீன் தெரியறதுக்கு? Present போயிட்டு I have opened my
bottom is the present now.
Yes, ma'am. I have opened that.
And the present now you open that your entire screen.
Yes, now I have opened. Share கொடுக்கணுமா?
Yes, ma'am.
Cancel தான் வருது. Share வரல. Post கொடுக்கலாம்னு நினைக்கிறேன் பாருங்க.
மேம் அந்த மேல இருக்கிற ஒரு விண்டோ கிளிக் பண்ணிட்டு ஷேர் கொடுங்க மேம். present now கொடுங்க. After that your entire screen. Then மேல இருக்கிற ஒரு screen window visible இருக்கும்ல மேம், அதை கிளிக் பண்ணிட்டு ஷேர் கொடுங்க மேம்.
It's not showing any window here. Yes. I think now it's sharing, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Please give slideshow, Anuradha.
வந்துச்சுல?
Yes, ma'am. Please give slideshow view, ma'am.
I have given, ma. I have given. Is it showing or not?
Yes, ma'am. The slide is showing, but it is not for the full screen, ma'am. For that, you can give slideshow, ma'am.
I have given. One second. See whether
Okay,
it's
ma'am.
showing now. Yes. தெரியுதா இப்போ?
Yes, ma'am. Slide is visible, ma'am.
Slide is visible. Full screen தெரியுதான்னு கேக்குறேன்.
இல்ல ma'am, full screen தெரியல ma'am.
தெரியலையா? இப்போ பாருங்க. இப்போ தெரியுதாடா full screen?
No, ma'am. Ma'am, at the bottom, அதை click பண்ணுங்க ma'am. இப்ப நீங்க
பண்ணியாச்சு 3 times I did that.
ma'am, or else at the top home insert இருக்குல்ல ma'am, அதுல slide show கொடுங்க ma'am. இல்ல ma'am, மேல slide show. Yes ma'am, from beginning.
Now it's clear. தெரியுதா இப்போ?
Ma'am, from beginning click பண்ணுங்க ma'am மேல.
Yes. Yes, this is from beginning, right? And clicking
Yes ma'am,
this.
yes ma'am.
Yes. Okay.
No ma'am, now also it is not for the full screen. Ma'am, no problem ma'am, you continue ma'am.
Okay. So good morning one and all. So today the topic given to me is behavior of RC structures under earthquake loading. So the earthquake is a very big problem in India because most of the structures are collapsing due to this earthquake. So we will see how it behaves whenever the RC structure comes under this lateral load like earthquake loading. So what happens to the structures? So shall we move on to the next slide? So why buildings fail in the earthquake? There are two reasons mainly. This is lack of strength and lack of ductility. So all the structural engineers know what is ductility, and due to that only the failures occurs in the earthquake affected structures. So this is introduced by the design deficiency. The main design deficiency is due to the failure to understand failure mechanism, deficient system, and the calculations, whatever we are doing for the design. And then construction deficiency, there are lack of quality assurance materials like quality material we are not doing, we are not checking that, and also the construction detailing, whatever we are giving to the structure, this makes the structure to failure whenever we are going for the construction deficiency. So these are all the general things I'm discussing here. Next, measures. So what should be the measures should be taken? So design and
Ma'am,
detailing.
excuse me.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, this only first slide is still there ma'am. The slide hasn't changed.
Changed, ma'am, but one second. This is still in that mode only, no? Full screen இன்னும் தெரியல இல்லையா? தெரிய ஆரம்பிச்சிருச்சா?
Ma'am, it is still in the same first slide. That is title slide.
Oh, have changed the slide actually.
No ma'am, for us only the first slide is visible ma'am.
என்ன பண்றது?
Ma'am, please close it and reopen it. Yes ma'am, now it has changed. It
I
is in
think
message.
the full slide எனக்கு இங்க full screen போகும்போது உங்களுக்கு அது தெரியலன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். எனக்கு இங்க full screen காமிக்குது, பட் உங்களுக்கு அங்க ப்ராப்ளமா இருக்கு. இப்போ உங்களுக்கு பார்க்க ஒன்றும் ப்ராப்ளம் இல்லைல்ல? தெரியுதுல்ல?
இல்ல ma'am, ஒன்னும் problem இல்ல ma'am. It has changed.
Okay. Now it is changing now. இப்போ
Yes
change
ma'am.
ஆகுதா? Okay.
Yes ma'am.
So again, I'm repeating why buildings fail in an earthquake. This is lack of strength and ductility. So strength, we know all the civil engineers is very important thing, and ductility as a structural engineer, we should know that what is ductility, and based on that only the buildings fail due to earthquake. So while this is introduced by design deficiency. This is due to the failure to understand the failure mechanism, deficient system, and calculations, whatever we are doing in the design. While doing deficiency in calculation, it makes the design it makes the structure to failure due to earthquake. Next, going to construction deficiency, mainly we have to concentrate in the quality of material and construction detailing, whatever we are giving to the structure. If both deficiency occurs, then the building fails. This is a general thing. And while going for the measures, whatever measures we have to take, we have to go for the design and detailing. In design, system design is there and component design is there. And in detailing, better behavior and to improve ductility of the building. So ductility of the building is very important while going for the earthquake structures. So here we are going to see about the behavior of the structures, how it behaves in the earthquake, not about the measures and all. It is general thing. And next thing is poor performance of RC frame buildings. How the framed buildings performing poorly while the lateral force or the earthquake occurs. This is mainly due to two concepts. One is design concept ignorance, and second one is construction defects. So this design concept ignorance comes under the thing strong column, weak beam, and soft story and short column. We will see one by one in the upcoming slides. And in the second thing is construction defects, which is due to weak or cold joint, lapping, anchoraging, and ductility. Whatever thing we have discussed in the construction defects is mainly lapping of the reinforcement, anchoraging the reinforcement, and the ductility. So ductility. So these defects makes the structure poor performance whenever the lateral force occurs to the structure. Next one is other general thing is other things are unacceptable shape. In general, we are not concentrating, structural engineers, we don't never concentrate about the shapes and all. But while going for the architectural view, they are concentrating only in the shape and the aesthetic appearance. So while going for that, if any unacceptable shape occurs, there is a chance for collapse in the structure due to earthquake and defective load path. Because we know very well how the load should transfer from the slab to the soil. So the defective load path makes the structure to fail. And local soil condition. Soil condition is very, very important nowadays. Without a geotechnical certificate, we could not go for any structural consult, any construction. Next one is hammering and pounding. This happens actually in loose soils. And all. Next, we will see the design concept ignorance first. So strong beam, weak column concept. Here you are seeing the pancake type damage. Have you ever seen this type of damage in any structures? What is pancake? See how the pancake or one by one it is one by one it is there. Have you ever seen this type of damage in any structure? So we will see that. So here you can see this pancake type damage. Here all the beams are very safe. You can see here all the beams are very safe. Only thing, all the columns has been totally collapsed. This type of collapsing structure due to the earthquake, we call it as a pancake type damage structure. This type of structures happens whenever the beam is very strong and the column is very weak. Due to that, pancake type of damage structures are occurring. So you can see, however, the pancake is one over other is there. It's like the same. Here the structure also one over other is there. But there is no column. All the columns are totally damaged. And here, this is one of the collapse of multi-story RC frame building due to weak column, strong beam design. This was happened in Bhuj earthquake in India in 2001. Again, you can see the beam is very strong. So the slab and the beam are safe here, but the columns are totally collapsed. This is called pancake type collapse. This occurs due to the strong beam and weak column concept. So this is one of the another example. Multiple story collapse in 6-story building due to strong beam and weak column design in Turkey earthquake. Here also you can see all the beams are safe, but no columns are there in between the floors. Next, we will see the concept. So how the strong column weak beam concept occurs. In the first figure A, you can see strong columns with weak beams. All the beams are here.
Madam, can you please make it full screen?
That is what, sir, I have made, but it is not coming. Can you see it now?
No, it is not full screen actually.
Actually, I did it, but it is not showing there.
Ma'am, there is an icon at the bottom portion of the screen. Oh, yeah, that one.
Is it showing, sir?
No, it is not yet come.
That's what I have started as. I did this also from the beginning, from the top. Again, can you see it now?
No, it is not yet.
So that is the problem, sir. I don't know what happened here. If you are seeing in the mobile, no, you can make it as somewhat bigger so that you can see the pictures and all. Can it start, sir? Can I start?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Anurag.
Okay. இது என்னன்னு தெரியல, தெரிய மாட்டேங்குது, என்ன ரீசன் தெரியல எனக்கு. Okay, we'll move on to the strong column and weak beam concept. In the first figure, you can see strong columns and weak beam. Here you can
Ma'am,
see.
now the PPT, the slide is in the first title slide, ma'am.
Okay. Now.
Yes, ma'am. Now it's okay.
So the beams are all the beams are very, very strong compared to the column. So here you can see strong column, weak beams. Here the beams are totally strong compared to the column. This is a concept given over here in the strong column with weak beams. The beams are totally weak and the columns are very strong. It is given in the first figure. So whenever the lateral forces occur or the earthquake occurs, vibration occurs, we call it as a lateral force. Whenever it occurs to the structure, there will be a large displacement at collapse. There will be a large displacement. and damage distributed in all the stories. You can see this yellow circles, no? This we call it. This is the damages occurring. It occurs in all the stories. This makes the structure to somewhat safe. So we can save the life of the people, those who are inside the structure, if this type of concept we move. Whenever weak column and strong beams, you can see here the displacement is very small at collapse and all the damage in one story only, because all the beams are very strong. There will not be any ductility occurring in that particular beams and all is taken by this particular story only. So all the columns fail over here. So this makes the structure to fail. Totally it collapses. So this weak column, strong beam concept we should not never go this type of concepts. But here you can see the strong column and weak beam. In this picture you can see this is the strong column. All the columns are very strong, but it has been shown as a bigger size, but it is not like that. To show that it is a strong, it has been shown like this. And weak beam, here the beams are very weak. So this will distribute the loads to the column and makes the column to somewhat large displacement, so that the strong column and weak beam design makes the structure to safe. So whenever the column is weak and the beam is strong, so there will be no displacement or smaller displacement will occur, and all the failure will occur in the ground floor itself. So this mechanism is called the strong column weak beam concept. The failure of column can affect the stability of whole building, but the failure of the beam causes localized effect. This localized effect is due in the ground floor itself. Hence, it is better to make beams to be ductile. That means weak. We always say that under reinforced section is better than the over or balanced section. So because for this ductility, so beams to be the ductile, weak links than columns. This method of designing RC building is called the strong column weak beam design method. Next, strong column weak beam design concept. Columns should be stronger than beams and foundations should be stronger than columns. Yes, columns should be stronger than beams. Columns should be stronger than beams based on the strong column weak beam concept, and the foundation should be stronger than columns, because all the loads taken up by the column will go to the foundation only. So the foundation should be stronger than the columns, and the connections between beams and columns and foundations should not fail, so that beams can safely transfer forces to column and columns to the foundations. The sum of moment of all the columns should be greater than 1.2 times the sum of moment of the beams. That means 20 times it should be greater than the column. The sum of moment capacities of columns for the design axial loads at a beam column joint should be greater than the sum of moment capacities of beams along each principal plane. The shear reinforcement should be adequate. We have to concentrate more in earthquake affected areas to ensure that the strength in the shear exceeds the strength in flexure and thus prevent a non-ductile shear failure. So that the shear failure should not occur, this kind of things. So shear reinforcement is very, very important. We should concentrate on that also. So these are all the things for strong column and weak beam concept. Next we'll move on to the soft story. Can anyone say what is soft story? Where do we can see the soft story?
It's a stilt floor.
Sorry?
Stilt floor.
Okay. Any other examples?
Car parking area at the ground floor or in the intermediate stories.
Yes. So soft story. So here you can see the car parking area, because there is no infills between these columns and all. So here you can see all the columns are there, but there is no infills. So this type of parking, we call it as a soft story. This is one of the examples. So what happens to the structure? This is just like an inverted pendulum. See, all the loads are here, but this column is just all the loads will be taken by these columns only, but heavy loads are at the top. So these earthquake oscillations, whenever the earthquake occurs, these oscillations will be there just like a inverted pendulum. Here you can see all the floors are totally infilled by the bricks or columns, but here the ground floor is totally free. So all the loads will be taken up by the column. So this type of upper floor we call it as a stiff upper story and soft ground story. So the stiff upper story, small displacement between the adjacent floors, and the soft ground story, large displacement between the foundations and the first floor. This happens to make the structure to fail. So the upper stories of open ground story buildings move together as a single block. Just like a single block, it moves together as such as the pendulum, inverted pendulum moves. One second. No. சொல்லுங்க. இல்ல அதுதான் டிஃபரன்ஸ் ஆஃப் வரீங்கன்னு கேட்கலாம். நான் இப்போ ஒரு இதுல இருக்கேன், செமினார்ல இருக்கேன். Sorry. So this is inverted. This acts as an inverted pendulum. So upper stories of open ground story buildings moves together as a single block. So this soft story building have two distinct characteristics. Mainly, it is relatively flexible in ground story, such as the relative horizontal displacement it undergoes in the ground stories is much larger than what each of the stories above it does. It is relatively weak in ground story, that is the total horizontal earthquake force it carry in the ground story is significantly smaller than what each of stories above it can carry. Just like an inverted pendulum, imagine like this. Next, this is the weak columns, because this all the brick fill are here over the floors of the ground, and whenever the ground shaking occurs, the open floors are here, so it will first affected, and all the stress concentration will be more at this part. And also sometimes it may occur in the one floor where there is no brick fill, all other things having brick fill. Sometimes the third floor or second floor, it may also affected due to this ground shaking. So that we will see in the examples of upcoming slides. So this is a soft story mechanism, how the stress concentrations occurs. In soft story collapse mechanism, there is a drift between the, there is displacement between the structure whenever the lateral forces occurs over the earth. But this is a normal one. Whenever the soft story is coming, so the drift will be high, and all the stress concentration will be at the opposite side of the lateral force occurring. So here you can see in soft stories. So this will totally collapse because all the loads will be taken up by here, and due to this over stress, it is collapse. This is the stress concentrations or the soft story collapse mechanisms. Here many examples over here. So here this building, you can see there is no car parking. It was totally damaged, and the building was totally sat down on that particular place. And here you can see the due to overstress, these columns are totally collapsed. Here this column was totally, stress concentration was high here because of soft story, so it was just like tilting over here. Here also you can see the buildings was totally collapsed at the ground floor. Here you can see the same type of failures occur. Due to this, the connection between these two buildings also collapsed. You can see the height of the building. Here the total concentration of stress will be higher here. So due to that, the structure was collapsed. The height is totally damaged. You can see the height of the building. So the connection between these two structures also was damaged. This collapse was occurred in the 6th floor. As I have told, whenever any floors are having no brick fills or it is totally open, so in that case, the particular floor may get damaged. So collapse of intermediate story in 6th story RC frame commercial building was occurred in Bhuj. So here also it is a hospital. This is the excessive deformation in the first 2 stories during 1972 was happening in San Fernando earthquake. So due to this stress concentration higher in this particular column, so it was totally damaged. Here you can see the 3rd floor collapse. This 3rd floor collapse in Japan. So it was totally free with no infills. So it was totally damaged. Only this floor was damaged, but all the other floors are totally safe. So design of soft story elements. You can see this is the actual building. The infill walls not considered in the upper stories, and building being assumed in current design practices. The code suggests that the forces in columns, beams, and shear walls, if any, under the action of seismic loads specified in the code, may be obtained by considering the bare frame building without any infills. However, beams and columns in the open ground story are required to be designed for 2.5 times the forces obtained from this bare frame analysis. That is the thing, we have to concentrate. We could not avoid this kind of things because car parking is necessary, but soft story we have to go for apartment buildings and all. So code suggests that, however, beams and columns in the open ground story are required to be designed for 2.5 times the forces obtained from this bare frame analysis that we have to concentrate as per the correlation. And next we will see the short column effect. So this kind of things you can see in Ooty and all, wherever the ground is sloped ground, we are going for, we could not fill the ground in as a plain surface. So in sloped ground, we have to go for this kind of thing, like column height may vary. So whenever the totally short column is there, we call it as a short column. So now sometimes we are going for the mezzanine slope. So whenever the floor is having some low roof, we are looking for keeping some vessels or like that. So we are going for low roof. So this makes the column to split into two. This we call it as a mezzanine floor. So this makes the column too short. So this kind of thing makes the column too short, and short column we affect whatever happens here due to this earthquake. We will see this is some implicit example and this is some explicit examples. You can see some. This is the partial height wall. That is, we call it as the wall which is half of the portion of the column is filled with wall, and this kind of thing you can see in the colleges in front of the classes and all. So here this is totally free. So if any partial wall is constructed over the column, it makes the column to short column, and this portion is column restrained from moving. This portion is column restrained from moving, and this portion is totally open. So this makes the column to short. This is some explicit example, whatever we are seeing in our day-to-day life. So this column effect due to the staircase. The staircase is constructed at the half of the column height, and this makes the column to short at the top as well as at the bottom. So this kind of failure may occur due to this short column effect whenever the staircase are constructed in between. Okay, short column effect. So this is due to lateral stiffness 12 EI by L cube. So this is the long column and this is the short column. We will see how it attracts the horizontal force or earthquake force. Whenever the tall column, any earthquake or lateral forces occurs to the tall column, the displacement will be higher. But low, very low. It attracts smaller horizontal force, and whenever the short column attracts larger horizontal force, that is F is equal to K into delta, where delta is the displacement. So the tall and short column of same cross section move horizontally by same amount of delta. However, the short column stiffer as compared to tall column, and it attracts larger earthquake force. It attracts larger earthquake force, so the displacement is high. Stiffness of the column means resistance to deformation. The larger is the stiffness, larger is the force required to deform it. The short column is not adequately designed for such a large force. It can suffer significant damage during an earthquake. This behavior is called short column effect. So this kind of thing, you can see the X-shaped cracking whenever the damage is occurred in the short column. Often we can see this type of X-shaped cracking. This type of damage of column is due to shear failure. We'll see some examples. Here you can see the short column. It was totally failed in this particular portion. If short and tall column exist within the same story level, then the short columns attract several times larger than earthquake force and suffer more damage as compared to taller ones. Here you can see the X type of cracking, as I have mentioned earlier, due to this short column. So the effective height of column over which it can bend is restricted by adjacent walls. This was occurred in this short column between the lintel and sill level of the window also it may happen. So you can see this short column damage, as I have mentioned here. It is the infill is there, and the another portion is totally free. So it will be considered as short column, and the short column damage will occur due to the earthquake. Here also the same thing happened. Like balconies and all, this portion may affect. Here you can see this column was totally affected due to the short column effect, and here also the same thing. Okay, next we will move on to the construction defects. One by one we will see. So this is due to joints. So beam column joint, it is very, very important. Can anyone say this type of beam column joint is correct or not? How the reinforcement should be given?
No, there is no development length.
What to do for this, sir? What is the wrong picture shown here? Can you explain this, please?
Madam, if
The reinforcement from beam,
yeah,
Please
the
say.
reinforcement from beam should be entered into the column, and similarly from column to beam.
Yes. Any one of you? Any other?
That
yeah,
bearing
madam,
is
I think that's
insufficient.
what.
Yeah. Please, any one of you. Someone else want to speak. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think that's what the more connection from the beam to the column would be. That's what it's lacking, madam. That's what I feel.
Okay. Any other?
There is no ties in that junction.
Okay. There is no ties. Okay.
Yeah,
You are coming under shear, right? Shear reinforcement.
yeah. Column ties. There are no column ties in that.
Column ties. There is no
Yeah.
column ties. Okay. I'm talking about beam column joint, sir. Can you say how the main reinforcement should goes to the column and beam? How it should be connected? Practically, can you say that? In field.
Yeah, it should be connected in the form of development length.
Okay. Then
Madam,
any
you're
other?
talking about.
Only two members are responding. I just want to interact with others. That's why I'm asking again and again. Can anyone respond for this question?
Madam, you're talking about the right top figure, right, madam?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, this figure.
The reinforcement from beam is abruptly stopped.
Yes, yes, you're right. It was abruptly stopped. This shows that how it was totally connected. Can we say it is connected?
No, it is free actually.
Actually, it is just like a simply supported. It was taken over. It was just placed over the other, right?
Yeah.
So what happens whenever the earthquake?
It seems simply supported actually, ma'am.
Yes. What happens when? Yeah. What happens whenever the earthquake occurs to this type of structure?
Basically, the horizontal earth force will definitely cause the major, may cause the major damage, madam.
It was totally collapsed because it was totally the beam will separate separately and the column will separate separately, right?
Yes,
Because there is
madam.
no connection. So what we have to do is the top main reinforcement should within the development length it should be goes to the column, and from the column it should come over the top, right, sir? That is the joint connection. Am I right, or any other suggestions are there?
You are correct.
Yes.
Yeah, you are correct.
Yeah.
Because in the top there is a hogging moment. So
Yeah.
hogging moment requires development length. Otherwise,
Yes.
it will act as a hinge. It will act as a simply supported. Other
Yes.
moment, there is no moment transfer.
Yes, there is no moment transfer. Yes, sir, you're right. Okay, so this type of beam column joint, whenever happens, actually locally they are constructing the structure. No, in the masonries they are giving the building to the small houses and all. So what they will do? No, they are saying that it is a framed structure, but they will construct the column from the foundation. They won't give any built beam. That means that from the bottom of the foundation also. For general consideration, I'm telling this. And also at the top they are giving the slab directly without giving connection between the columns with the beams, so they don't give any beams connecting with the column. They are simply placing the slab over the column. This was happening local masonry, the masonries and all, they are constructing the houses and they are selling the houses, no? So since small houses they are doing that. Anyone agreeing my point? Anyone of you agreeing my point? Because they doesn't know about the technical things. I'm not blaming them.
Yeah, but the site engineer there, I think he can also.
He has to monitor. But sometimes the engineer will not be there at particular place, and also sometimes they may not have any experience and all. So this makes a structure to construct like this. But the people, those who are purchasing the type of houses and all, they doesn't know what happened entirely in the technical part inside the building. But due to the aesthetic appearance and all, they are purchasing the buildings. And if any type of damages occurs whenever earthquake comes, no, that at that point of view only they are realizing this. So this beam column joint is a very, very important thing. That's why I have said this, because I have seen many buildings nearby to my house also. They are simply constructing just like they are placing the slab over the column. So I was totally astonished when I was see the type of construction. So this is the beam column joint failure. You can see there is no connection between the beam and column joints. So whenever the earthquake was occurring, no, it was totally separated. So you can see here there is no connection between the beam and column, and it collapses. You will see some. So here also the same thing happens. So here also the same thing happens between the beam and column joints. So here you can see there is no proper connection between the beam and column joints. So the collapse was occurred over here. Here also you can see there is no. I think the Richter level is somewhat low in this type of fractures, because there is only small collapse was occurred. Here you can see the beam column joints may not be able to develop the strength of the connected members, and this can lead to a sudden brittle failure of the joint. There is just like a glass, the brittle failure it was occurred because of this improper beam column connections. Totally the structure was collapsed. Here you can see the cold joint. Can anyone say what is cold joint?
That means it's not a monolithic construction. It's not a single continuous construction, but there is a gap between two concrete pours.
Yes,
one concrete
right.
is casted after the concrete hardens of the previous concrete is hardened.
Fantastic, sir. You're correct. So whenever the concrete was totally hardened, they leave for one day or due to some reasons.
It's a plane of weakness, madam.
Yeah, weakness also there due to shear and all. Weakness also there, but cold joint is particularly whatever the SAR told is correct. So it is due to the concrete was hardened, and afterwards again the next day they will pour the new concrete. There will not be bonding between the old and the new concrete. Am I right, sir? Sir, please.
But practically it's not possible to avoid cold joint, because everywhere columns are casted. Columns have to be cast first, then beams and slabs are cast.
So what remedial measure we have to give for this particular problem?
No, only at that reinforcement, at the junction of the reinforcement, beam column junction, the proper ties should be provided, which is not possible. Practically, it is not possible to.
Can we say the technical term as a key shear?
The two batches doesn't mix properly, madam.
Might be, sir. Yes, sir. It may be, there may be a problem in doesn't mixing, or there may be a problem in concreting, hardened concrete over the new concrete, and whatever the sir told, like there may be a problem in reinforcement. So this and all happens in the cold joint. Any other thing you want to discuss?
Yeah, better to prepare the earlier concrete. It is better to prepare well, so that the next batch of the concrete is well taken by the earlier batch, madam. That's what usually in the construction.
Sometimes what happens, no, if we wanted to stop over here and the next day we want to continue the concrete, because concreting work at all 24 hours we could not do. So sometime we have to give the gap for that particular portion and all. So if it happens, what will be the remedial measure you give for this portion?
Better preparation of the old concrete, madam. That's what usually in construction they do. I mean, basically step in and number of roughened, make it as more roughened by putting jellies and things like that.
Okay.
No, there is no contribution. The contribution of concrete in tensile forces is zero. So whether it's a cold joint or without coldness joint, it has nothing to do with the cold joint. Everything steel is the main, because in the earthquake structure only ductility will come into picture. So not compression members will not come into picture.
Okay. So you mean to say that reinforcement we have to concentrate more than the concreting work?
Yeah, it's only about reinforcement. Reinforcement, and at that particular junction there is no lateral test. Because of that, it has buckled.
Yes, sir, you're right. So both the things we have to concentrate. One is concreting, and also second thing is whatever the SAT tool, it was totally buckled due to the shear reinforcement was not given properly in this particular junction. Am I right, sir?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, okay. So this is the thing happened over here. Next we will see Here also the cold joint due to this shear, and also here also you can see kind of problems occurred here also. You can see there is no proper shear reinforcement given over here. So to avoid this, you have to give the shear key to avoid the cold joints. You can see this type of shear keys, and we have to provide for this to avoid the cold joints. Meanwhile, we have to concentrate while particularly in joints and all while concreting work. That should not be any time should be given. That means we have to leave the concrete, and we should not leave the concrete as such, and we will continue in the next day. So that we should not do also. That we call it as a cold joint also. But here the main thing, whatever Sir told, I will go with him. So this is the due to shear. So we have to shear key should be provided properly to avoid the cold joint. Next, this kind of weak joints will be there. See, there is no reinforcement is coming over here. Beam reinforcement is coming out of the column. So there is no proper connection. This we call it as a weak joints. So they should not be there. Okay, next coming to the lapping. So can anyone say what is lapping in reinforcement? What is lapping in reinforcement? Where we can see this kind of lapping?
Now, when the reinforcement is found shortage, because when we don't have reinforcement for a full length, then we have to join two pieces, extend the reinforcement. So wherever there is a continuity, wherever there is a joint, we should provide a sufficient development length. So that development length we cannot weld the two bars from the end of that tip to another tip of that.
Yes, yes.
So welding is not possible practically in the field. So we have to overlap it. Overlap it means for development length.
Yes. Because
IS codes also really deals with lapping length, like madam.
Yes,
if I'm
yes.
not wrong.
Yeah, you are right. So lapping development length. Can you say the development length? How much we have to provide?
No, it depends on the diameter of the bar.
Yes, yes. Depends on the diameter of the bar. So lapping
50 times the D. 50D.
50D. Yes, 50D. Yes, 50 times the diameter.
For tensile and compression, there are two different development lengths for the same diameter.
Okay. So what happens was the reinforcement, we could not go for 3 floors or 4 floors and all, right? So we have to cut the reinforcement at a particular stage, and we have to connect with the other reinforcement for constructing to the next upcoming floors. For that, we could not directly join tip to tip because it won't support for lapping. So we have to give some development length, whatever the SAT told. So development length, we should lap over the reinforcement, and then we have to go for the next upcoming floor. Correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
I just want to interact. That's why, because monolithically, if I talk, no, I feel also very bored. So that's why I'm talking with people. So improper lapping and anchorage. You can see there is no development length has been given, and improper lapping and also anchorage. Anchorage, it should be properly connected. The development length, whenever the reinforcement giving up, it is not work out. We have to give proper anchoraging. So this picture shows damage concentration in the region of bar lapping because of interaction between overlapped bars and concrete for load transfer. The overlapping section suffers higher level of damage. This interaction in further coupled with lack of stirrups, that means there is no proper connection between anchoraging between the overlapping bar and the old bar, so which has led to buckling of bars and loss of concrete. Here you can see over here this type of failures occurred here. This is improper lacking and anchorage. Next, improper lacking and anchorage, the same thing happened over here. You can see the main bars itself, it is bent up, and here also you can see this kind of thing. The distance between these two stirrups, you can see it is very high. So the failure due to improper detailing, the detailing given by the engineer is totally wrong. So the buckling of vertical column rebars due to inadequately spaced horizontal ties, and severe damage of ground floor column due to the improper confinement of concrete and lapping of large number of launchable bars, and typical infrequent horizontal ties with 90 degrees hooks which were unable to confine the concrete core. So this is what happened over here. This is the improper lapping and the anchorage occurred over these 3 pictures. This shows clearly. See how it was due to lapping and anchorage. It was totally buckled. The reinforcement was totally buckled over here. So here also, due to the spacing of stirrups and the cover, this makes the structure in the column was totally collapsed. So due to this improper lapping and anchorage, this transverse reinforcement has resulted in failure of confinement in columns. It was happened in 1985 Mexico earthquake. So here you can see all the columns were failed due to this particular problem. You can see all it was bent up, all the bars were bent up at the bottom portion of the. So,
Madam, even the poor concrete also will cause such damages, madam?
yes, sir. That's what I have showed in the previous picture. Here you can see the column was totally, the stirrups is there, reinforcement is there, it was bent up, but the concrete, due to this concreting work, it was totally failed. It happens. Column tie spacing and tie hook failure of quality of control. And deformability of reinforced concrete members is necessary. Note the obvious differences of capability of concrete columns to take load after earthquake damage. Reinforced column with more stirrups, ductile reinforcing, has an obvious capacity to carry much more load than the column with less stirrups. Concreting work has been done properly, reinforcement is there, but there is no proper stirrups. It happens to failure due to the failure of the quality control. Okay, next we'll move on to the shapes. So, how the shape will fail? Can anyone say how the shape makes a structure to fail during earthquake?
What do you mean by shape? Whether it's the shape of a column or a shape of a building?
No, in shape of the structure.
No, it should be symmetrical.
Yes.
It should be regular shape. Regular shape.
Okay. What happens if any improper shape or irregular shape will be there?
In the
What
vertical,
type of?
if it is in vertical shape is not symmetrical, there will be a torsion.
Yeah, that's what I need. Actually,
and in the plan, if it is not symmetrical, means at the junction it will crack. Suppose if the building is in L shape or C shape in the plan, at the junction of that two wings, that side A and side B, where it meets, there will be crack.
Yes, you're right, sir. So shape.
Usually, Professor, usually the circular shape is usually better. That's what people tell.
Circular shape, you mean to be in columns, sir? I'm talking about the structure. Am I right, sir? You're talking about the column, right?
Yeah, yes, madam.
No,
yes,
I'm
madam.
not talking about the column, sir. I'm talking about the structural shape. In the building, if a building is there, if the shape is symmetrical, if the shape is regular, then there is no problem. If the shape is not symmetrical, then the problem occurs. As such, the SAP told that due to torsion. Yes, sir.
Yeah, basically the center of rigidity and the center of mass.
Yes.
As per that code.
You catch my point. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're right. So we'll see how torsion, seismic force at each level acts through center of mass of each floor, and it is resisted by the building through its center of rigidity. So this is the torsional forces occurs. Here you can see it is a balanced and the center of rigidity at the center. There is no torsional forces occurring. But whenever the eccentricity occurs over the structure and the unbalanced or center of mass is moving from the center to somewhat else than the eccentrical area, then the torsion occurs and it makes the structure to failure. This is because due to the center of mass of each floor and due to the seismic force. So I have given some simple example like a girl is swinging in a in a tree with totally the two ropes are at the same height here. Here the swinging, there is no problem occurs whenever the twist comes also. Here you can see the unequal ropes. The height of the one rope is smaller than the another rope. So this wing with the unequal ropes makes a structure to twist. So here you can see the heavy side of the building whenever this is the light side of the building. So the light side of the building, the heavy side of the building makes the structure to turn. So twist will occur. Here you can see the earthquake ground shaking because there is a short column and long column in the slope structure and all. Again, the vertical axis about which the building twists, and here the twisting moment will happen. So I've given some simple example. So torsion, center of mass is equal to center of gravity of floor masses, and center of rigidity is equal to a point through which a horizontal force is applied, resulting in translation of the floor without any rotation. Here, the buildings with unequal vertical members, they cause the building to twist about a vertical axis. Here, the walls and columns will twist about a vertical axis in a plane. One side open ground story building twist during earthquake during shaking. So this is what I was totally talking about the shapes. Here you can see that this was totally free in this area. The shape you can see, this is the unequal shape. So this makes the structure to twist at this particular point due to shaking of the. So this earthquake movement, these columns are more vulnerable. So different portions of the same floor level moves horizontally by different amounts. This includes more damage in the columns and walls on the side that moves more. The remedial measures we can go for is symmetry in plane through uniformly distributed mass and uniformly placed vertical members. Otherwise, include additional shear forces in the design of columns as per correlations. So we could not go always symmetry, because sometimes for aesthetic appearance and all, we have to go for some unsymmetrical plans also. In such cases, we should concentrate with additional shear forces in the design of columns as per the model provisions. Otherwise, due to earthquake distortion, we could not avoid. So these are all some of the not symmetrical, unsymmetrical areas of the buildings. So here the load will be very high. Here it is less. Here also you can see that this violet color, and so if this type of unsymmetrical things are there, no, there is a chance for torsion occurring over the structure. So this is the unacceptable shape. Here you can see the building is constructed like C type construction. So if it is like that, there will be a chance for twisting, and due to that the failure may occur. Here the excessive long cantilever slab has been given in this particular area. So many staircase towers called Mumpty, which project about 2 meters above the surrounding construction in masonry houses, it was totally collapsed. This is due to the excessive cantilever. So this is unsymmetrical load. Collapse of one half of the 14-story RC frame residential building at Ahmedabad, and the collapsed portion had a swimming pool on the roof, unlike the other half that is standing. Here you can see the totally one portion was totally collapsed and the other portion was totally standing, because the half of the portion having the large twisting moment because of this swimming pool at the roof, unlike the other portion is standing over there. Here this happened in Ahmedabad. So next we'll go for the disturbed load path. So you seeing this structure, seeing this building, can anyone say what was the wrong thing happened over here?
The columns are floating.
Yes, columns are floating. Then what happens whenever the columns are floating like this?
There will be instability due to
Instability.
earthquake.
Instability. Then
Even
the title is disturbed load path.
Even there is no earthquake also, the loads are not transferred directly to the soil, but it is transferred to the beam, and then so beams will become weak actually.
How the load transfer is occurring in a building? How the load transferring occurring in a building?
Slab to beam, beam to column, column to footing, and footing to soil.
Yes. Is it possible over the structure?
And also, we are not able to find the beams also.
Yes.
There are only columns and slabs.
The all the columns are not in the same position. Columns are floating, as the professor told earlier. Here the column is over here at the ground floor. At the top floor, the column is somewhat not connected properly with the ground floor column. Right? First floating, right? The connections between beams and columns and foundations should not fail, so that beams can safely transfer forces from columns and columns to foundation. Each joint should achieve proper ductility. But here, all the forces from the half proportion from the slab to the beam, and beam to the column, and column again it transfers the load to the ground floor column, to the footing, and to the soil. But here there is no chance of distributing the load path to the soil. So this disturbed load path makes the structure to collapse. So this is the undefined load path. Can anyone explain this particular these two pictures? structural engineer can design like this?
Which picture, madam? The right bottom?
Yes, right bottom.
The beam should always be supported by the columns.
What is happening over here?
Here, the beam is not supported on the column.
What happened?
So the beam and the slab both will fail.
There is no proper connection between the beams and the columns. The beams, if you see, here one beam is there, here is a beam, here, how it was connected, there is no defined path of beam and column connection. And here also you can see the beam was totally collapsed because it was not properly connected with the column. So this undefined load of path, how the load will transfer over here? It is totally confused actually. So this undefined load of path makes the structure to failure in this type of
Madam,
Here-
but at the design stage,
Yes.
may I talk, madam?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but at the design stage, if this particular beam is well designed, then the load from the beam to the column, from the beam to the column can be well transmitted, madam. That's what usually people do when floating column comes into picture now, madam. That's what I understood.
Okay, but the floating column will be given for the aesthetic purpose only. It never transfers the loads to the column and to the. We can see the floating columns, but all the floating columns will never transfer the load to the column. But the columns should be started from the footing to the top level should be same at the same level. Then only the load will properly transfer and the defined load path will be. This is what my structural concept I'm telling. But in aesthetic part of view, they are in architecture and all, they are going for the floating column only for the aesthetic appearance. Am I right, sir? If I'm wrong, you please correct.
No, especially in the modern day construction,
Yes.
because of the aesthetics by architecture,
Yeah, that's what.
they don't. We cannot make 100% column eccentric. But for decorative purpose, they especially in the front side, they want to bring two pillars, just like our Roman
Yes.
Roman structures.
Yes.
So those structures actually they are non-structural columns. They will not take load. Only it's as a fancy column. But still, we can design a beam supporting that column. But the beams will be require too much heavy reinforcement.
Yes, yes, you are right. The
So
beam
it is a
should be
cost.
too much heavy reinforcement. Then only it will take the floating columns and also the above structure also. Yes.
Correct.
Yes. Okay. So that's what the undefined load path. I'm talking about the totally the beam and column connections and all. So it should be properly defined and the load should be properly transferred from the beam to the column and beam to the column to the footing. That's what I just wanted to explain. But if we're going for any aesthetic appearance and all, the floating column we are accepting. But whatever the SAT told, the beam should be totally. It was very big beam and the reinforcement will be very heavy on the particular beam. So next we'll see the eccentric beam column joint. Here you can see the column is this much high, the beam was connected in the eccentric portion. This makes the column to torsion buckling here whenever the earthquakes and all coming. So this is indirect loading to column. This is conceptual mistakes. You can see the column is there. Unnecessarily the beam is coming out, and here you can see some beams was constructed. Unnecessarily the beams has been constructed. So the column beam is very high, but the column width is very high, but the column here you can see the beam and column connections. It was not properly done. So indirect loading column. This is a conceptual mistake actually. So hammering. Can anyone see the film Ramana? It was acted by Jaygant. Tamil Nadu people may answer for this question. Ramana படம் பார்த்திருக்கீங்களா? தமிழ்நாட்டுல இருக்கிறவங்க யாருமே இந்த FDP-ல இல்லைங்களா சார்? Okay. So answer the question, what is hammering actually? only 3 persons are interacting with me. Others, what are, how much are there? How much participants are there in the FTP, sir?
95, presently 95 are there.
95, but only 3 persons are talking with me. But I'm so happy to talk with you people, sir. So, can you say what is hammering?
Basically, pounding, madam, the adjacent building will be pounding.
Yeah, you're right, sir. Please continue.
When the height of the two buildings are not same, so the building which is taller will oscillate more than the shorter one. So the tall building will come and hit the small building because it oscillates more, swings or sway.
No. Please think about the hammering action, not like a plug action. Hammering means any nearby structure or hammered, or if any nearby structures or any construction was going on, like pile foundation, like that. So hammering and pounding action was there. What happened to that recently? That's why I asked that anyone see that movie Ramana. I think you are from which state, sir?
From Karnataka.
Okay. Okay. So I think you didn't see that movie, but that movie, in that movie, no, what happens nearby? There was a very big construction was happening due to the hammering of the pile foundation and all. Due to the soil, loose soil, it will affect the nearby very big apartment. So totally, the apartment was totally collapsed due to this hammering action happened by the nearby construction. So it was shown in that particular picture. That's why I asked the Tamil Nadu people, anyone saw that movie and all, but no one answered. But this is due to the hammering action by the adjacent building. The title is hammering by adjacent building. This may be due to construction, or this may be due to the building is. If we don't want that building, we will make the building to destroy. No, at that time also this was happening. So this hammering action by the adjacent building makes the structure to collapse.
Basically, the
Can you
dynamic
show
effect
from-
of the hammering operation, no, madam?
Yes, sir. Sir, I could not
Can you
get it.
show
Come
some
again, sir.
photos? Can you show some photos or any video available regarding hammering?
No, sir, no, sir. I don't have any videos. I just showing here the photo. This was happened due to the adjacent building hammering. So this structure was collapsed because I think there is no infill in this particular floor. That's why this particular floor was collapsed. So here you can see some cranes and all. So this was collapsed due to the hammering by the adjacent building.
Basically,
So-
the
But I
dynamic
think,
effect of the madam. Basically,
Yes.
the dynamic effect of the pile drilling, and especially the natural frequencies, if they match, so then resonance, all that effect may be there, madam. That's what I'm feeling, madam.
Yes, sir. Because of that one, and also due to the soil considerations, also we should take, because if the soil is loose, no, this makes the nearby structure also to somewhat what do we call as improper settlements and all may happen in that particular structure also, no, sir, due to this pounding and hammering action.
I think these type of failures are very rare, right?
Yeah, yeah. This is very rare, but I just wanted to show whatever happening in that part, because this is the behavior of my title is behavior, no? That's why behavior of a structure, no? That's why I have shown this also.
And one way of solving this problem is leaving proper setback between the two buildings, right?
Yes, 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 you're right. Okay, actually the time given to me is actually 2 hours. I think I'll complete within 1 hour, and also I'm having one meeting with my management. So, yes.
Ma'am, but I wish to know, matlab, although as being engineer or an architect, we are going to plan in planned area and unplanned area both. No? So in unplanned area, we can see lots of building in that particular pattern, which are placed aside by side to one and another.
वो तो बना है, लेकिन क्या है कि वो पर्टिकुलर बिल्डिंग है ना, उसको अच्छी तरह हमको सॉइल चेक सब करके वो बिल्डिंग को अच्छी तरह कंस्ट्रक्ट करना है. If it is like that, no, if any building we have constructed with soil considerations and all, and if it is constructed properly, so it makes the structure to stable whenever the hammering action or anything happens nearby to the structure. I can understand, because in Bombay and all the, you can see over here also, here all the structures are constructed nearby because there is no space for construction. people population is very high, so they have to go for apartments like 25 floors, 30 floors and all. In such cases, we have to consider the soil. Specifically, soil test should be done properly, proper foundation should be given. If it happens clearly, it never makes the structure to failure whenever the hammering or any pounding action happens nearby. So here also you can see inappropriate liquefable area, flood proneness and liquefaction susceptibility. Actually, in Maulivakkam in Chennai, have you any read this in newspaper and all? This Maulivakkam was collapsed due to this particular the liquefaction susceptibility. Can you ever in Hindu and all, can you read that particular news? Maulivakkam, Chennai, particular building was collapsed. Because the thing was that particular building was constructed, it was previously it was like a pond area. So it was totally it is a liquefable area. So now the pond was not there. So what happened was they have constructed that particular structure, building in that half portion of the structure in that particular pond and the remaining portion in that particular land area. So this makes the structure to failure because they have not tested the soil properly and the proper foundation they have not given. So if it is inappropriate, then due to this, there may be a failure occurring over here.
Ma'am, do you also find some kind of a structural norms for unplanned settlements? Like these norms are very well, it can be workable in planned area, na? Like we are having some setbacks and not setbacks and some open area.
Yes, you're right, sir. But whenever
But
the money,
when it is difficult to address such issues, is there any such kind of norms are being processed by the government or some authority or some report has been done for the same?
Yes.
I was working in some urban villages and I have observed that in case of any earthquake or any kind of natural calamity, it is really difficult to protect the building at that time of calamity. So I don't know. Is there any? Have you seen such?
Actually, while coming for this earthquake ductility structure, if you wanted to make a structure for earthquake resistant structure, you have to spend 40% more than the actual structure. That's what the problem. So money is a very big problem. Economical is a very big problem there. So, but for simple structures and all, you can refer CVR Murthy. He has given very small things. If you do this, no, you can save the structure and also save the life of the people. Please refer that because you are in from urban or rural. But small buildings and all you can safeguard by using this small things whatever given by CVR Murthy. Please refer. It is available in Google, and you please check that. You can see some belts he has given from the foundation and lintel level and sill level, and how to connect the columns and beams. So simple thing. So it makes only 10 to 20% increase in construction cost, but it makes the structure to safe and also save the life of the people. So you please check that, sir.
Ji, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay. Next, we will see the slender building, the tall building. So it was not checked for the overturning, so it was not stable. Hence, due to that, it was overturned and the structure was failed. So yes, some design closing. Thank you. But the time given to me is 2 hours, but due to some meetings and all, I could not continue. Sorry for this, ma'am. Muthupriya, ma'am.
Ma'am?
Yeah, ma'am. Actually, I could not continue because I'm having meeting from my college. I got a message, ma'am. So shall I stop, ma'am?
Okay, ma'am. No issues, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thanks for your patience listening, and thanks a lot for interaction. Those who have interacted with me, it was very big. It was very good and nice interaction you have given. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for sharing us the wonderful
Thank you, madam.
information.
Thank you, sir.
Gained a lot of information. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Shall I
And the
close?
photographs you have shown are really realistic, madam. So it was very nice.
Actually, I have collected from Google only, sir, but I just wanted to show, I don't want to just like that give the wordings and all in my PPT. So if I show some photos, no, it will be interesting for you. So that's why I have collected this. How was the presentation? Yeah.
Thank you, Anuradha. Very informative and interactive session. Thank you for accepting our invitation. Thank you, Anuradha.
Thank you, ma'am. Can I close?
Yes,
Any
Anuradha.
feedbacks from participant side? If you want to speak, you can speak now.
Ma'am,
Just
it was
to-
very informative, in a very informative session, I should say. Well, I have learned lots of new things from your presentation. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
If you have any queries, you please ask.
Yeah.
How do we ensure strong column, weak beam in our design?
Okay. So you have to refer the codal provisions, and also whenever we are going for under reinforced, over reinforced, and balance section, no, we usually go for the under reinforced section. So that only for beam particularly, so that only it will deflect first and it will give the loads to the column. If we makes the column to very weak, so if you are not designing or ductility or has been not given properly based on the codal provision, what happens? No, the beam will be stand as such. It will not ductile. It makes the column to fail first. So this is not correct procedure. So that's what it should be: strong in weak and weak in column. Under reinforcement should be given to the beams.
But usually the codes, usually people tell if you follow the codes in a textbook manner and the execution is also done in a textbook manner, I think all the structures may be safe, madam.
Yes, actually I can say yes, because the codal provision, whatever given is totally, it was research work done, after researching only they have given. So while going for the practical also you should see something. I can say like that, but codal provisions you should follow, and all the design engineers, they are doing like that only. They are using some StatPro like that, some softwares also they are using, but 20 to 30% it shows higher than the codal provision. But still they are using that, and they are comparing with the manual usual design also, and based on that they are giving to the uh, field. But while going for field, no, if you are going for 6 or 7 building construction, you may get some idea, no. Based on that, you can go for it. Anything else? Can I wind up, because I'm having meeting now? That's why.
Okay, ma'am. Thanks a lot for the
Okay.
informative session, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all for your active participation in the FDP. Actually, we planned for FDP on thrust areas of research in civil engineering from May 31st to June 4. So, unfortunately, tomorrow's speaker is not available due to his personal reasons. So, we are closing with today. As tomorrow's speaker is not available due to his personal reasons and health reasons, we are closing with today. Attendance link and feedback link will be shared in the chat box. Kindly fill it. You will receive your certificate. Thank you all. Thank you for your active participation. Phase 2 FDP is planned during June 19th to 24. So we will circulate the details. Kindly participate in that also. It is with the different speakers. I will send the registration link through chat box. If you are interested, you can attend second phase of thrust areas of research in civil engineering FDP. Thank you all.